Welcome, House of Destiny. I'm about to be joined by Doobie from Jerusalem, and we're going to talk about a lot of things, and I'm really encouraging you to stay tuned for this entire broadcast. We're going to talk about what's going on at the UN, some crazy anti-Semitism that's been raging in Russia and in Europe and in other parts of the world. And we're also going to be looking at what it actually means when people are chanting this ridiculous slogan, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." You don't want to miss the show, so stay tuned.
Let be an offering to you, Lord. May I be like Mary, open to the movements of your heart, blessed in the keeping of your promise, a faithful friend of God. May I love your presence. It's more than any gift you've given me, and more than any crown I could receive, more than all my dreams. If I could have anything, let it be your eyes on me. Every time I catch your gaze, my world starts changing. I don't have that much to bring, just a simple song to sing. Oh, if I could have anything, let it be an offering. And may I be like David, I'm unconvinced by power or idols, worshiping in triumph and in triumph, a faithful friend of God. May I love your spirit. Oh, it's more than a reputation or prestige. It's more than what the world could think of me, 'cause your love is all I need. If I could have anything, let it be your eyes on me. Every time I catch your gaze, my world starts changing. I don't have that much to bring, just a simple song to sing. If I could have anything, let it be an offering. Oh, let it be an offering. Yeah. Oh, I come alive loving you. I'm overwhelmed by the way you move. My words fall short when I look at you. Oh, I come alive when I look at you. I'm overwhelmed by the way you move. My words fall short when I look at you. Oh, I come alive loving you, and I'm overwhelmed by the way you move. My words fall short when I look at you. Oh, I come alive loving you. I'm overwhelmed by the way you move. My words fall short when I look at you. Oh, if I could have anything, let it be an offering. Every time I catch your gaze, my world starts changing. I don't have that much to bring, just a simple song to sing. If I could have anything, let it be an offering. Let it be an offering. Oh, let it be an offering.
Well, as promised, here is Dubi joining us from Jerusalem. Dubes, hello, shalom to you.
Hi, shalom, shalom. How are you?
You know, everybody, I think the thing that I've been thinking about so much is that everybody who's not living in Israel, it's easy to sort of just accept that this is the situation that's going on now without necessarily being aware of the impact that it's still having on you. I know you've lost all your tours. A lot of people are out of work. You're out of work because of this. And it's something that's a very real impact that isn't just going to go away overnight. So that's just something I've been thinking about. And for all our viewers, you know, we're not going to forget. Other people might forget, the mainstream media might quiet down after a little while, but we're not going to forget, and we're going to continue to stand with Israel, with our Jewish brothers and sisters, no matter what. But Dubes, we spoke last week a little bit about anti-Semitism, and that's not going away. Dubi and I are going to talk in just a second together, but there's a video that I want to show you first. And this is from Russia. And a plane from Israel was landing in Russia, and you see this crazed, insane mob running after the airplane, trying to basically lynch the Jews that are landing there, that are, you know, under their countries in a state of war, literally. And so I want you to see this and just think about the fact that we don't have that kind of footage from Nazi Germany, but this is the same spirit. It's the same evil. And so we're going to go to that video and then talk about it in just a second. So let's go to that clip now.
Куда идти?
Все сюда, в аэропорт, братья, давайте, поддержим. Вот мы зашли сюда уже. Прямо в аэропорт зашли все. Аллаху Акбар!
Радар, зайдите, радар, там будет написано когда. Ну, примерно сейчас, полтора.
Dubes, what do you think about that?
First of all, you know, the thing is that people are not even aware how well organized all these anti-Semitism is conducted by governments even. I mean, you must have some serious intelligence to know that there is an airplane coming from Israel under a foreign label. That you have to know that this is not an El Al airplane. That's an airplane that is coming from Tel Aviv. They know that there are Jewish people and Israelis inside, and they go into the airport to wait for it. And even when the authorities of the airport, they have seen those protesters are coming and raiding over the airport, they kind of called the airplane, the pilot, to detour to another airport, and the people in real time, the mob, they knew that that's what they're doing, and they gave the order through the social media for other crazy raiders and anti-Semites to run also into the other airport. And that's the thing. These are authorities and governments and security people that didn't do their job. Have you ever seen in all your lives, in your entire lives, in a country that is organized and in order, a mob that runs into the tarmac on the runways? I never seen anything like this unless it's so organized and the security forces are just looking to the other side. And this is something that now multiple Israelis are very, very much afraid, and a lot of Jews are afraid to go anywhere because they don't know how connected are these anti-Semites and all these Muslim organizations and others that are their proxies. And people started to say, a lot of people canceled their business trips, family trips, even though you're in the midst of the war, but some families has health issues. And since all the hospitals of Israel are packed and full with injured people and soldiers and people from the attack, so some procedures are being suggested to take place in other countries, and people were scheduled to go into and undertake operations, surgeries in other countries, and now they're afraid to get out of Israel.
It's wild. And, just so everybody out there knows, like, I'm in Los Angeles, right? You would think, free liberal city. I have friends that are genuinely have expressed concern about walking in the streets with me because of my tattoos. Because even though I'm not Jewish, I present as it. And I've got these tattoos, I've got Hebrew on my arms. I've got the Star of David. I've got, 2 of them. Some of my friends, one of them in particular said to me, I'm nervous to go downtown with you because there were protests going on. And then other friends of mine who are Jewish out here, they say it's the first time in their lives that they've ever been afraid to be Jewish. And so this is what we keep talking about, where post-Holocaust, the phrase is never again. But like Bibi Netanyahu is saying, never again is now. This is what Jews are facing again. In Berlin, we're seeing Star of David's being sprayed outside of Jewish-owned businesses and homes, marking where Jews are. And there's another video clip I want to show you. And Dubi and I are going to talk about what this actually means in just a moment. But I want you to look at this protest that was going on in London and listen to what they're screaming. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And we're going to talk about what that means in a moment. But for now, let's go to this clip. Now, Dubes, I read a book in 2006 by a guy called Bruce Bauer who wrote While Europe Slept. And he wrote about how there was a strategic plan by Islamic nations to infiltrate Europe, starting with London, and how he predicted that within 20 years, the majority of a lot of these nations would be Muslim, and everybody called them crazy. But now look, in London, England, this is what we're seeing. Now, the thing that I want to talk to you about for just a couple of minutes before we get into some other things. Everybody hears this being sung, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, but they don't know what it means. Tell us, Dubes, what do they mean when they're singing that horrible, horrific little chant?
Well, it's not very hard to understand and figure it out. They mean from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, Palestinian would be free from Jews. They want the Jews to go into the sea, to go away, to die. Yes. That's what it means. And people that are chanting this and singing this, they're joining together with the worst of the Nazi enemies that wants to eliminate the Jews from their homeland, and they don't care how. But we know what's the plan of the enemy. We have seen the atrocities and the murder and the rape and the beheading. And these people that seems to be liberals and celebrate democracy, they're literally falling into a propaganda that tells them to slaughter and destroy the Jews in the only Jewish state in the world.
Yes. And that's the thing that I want everybody out there, if you've heard this little song being sung, that's what they're talking about. They're calling for utter destruction of Jews. They're calling for the utter destruction of Israel when they sing that, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They want a society where there are no Jews. They want a world where there are no Jews. And we've been speaking about this ancient evil that's present right now today in our day. It's present and it's surrounding us and it's everywhere. You know, even for people that say, oh, well, on social media, you know, Ben Shapiro was talking about this, saying, well, why are there so many more pro-Palestinian things on social media? You're talking about 2.2 billion Muslims versus, you know, however many million Jews in the world. The Jewish population of the world makes up less than 0.5% of the whole world demographically, but there's infinitely more Muslims. And so, of course, we're going to get this coming out, which is why it's so important for us to be a voice, to stand with Israel. It's important for us to be people that stand. And I'm going to talk to Dubi in just a second. I want to get his thoughts. We spoke about it a little bit briefly, but I want to get his thoughts on the UN, what's going on there. But before that, I'm just going to tell you a really quick story. I was walking along a boulevard a couple of days ago with two of my best friends, and we walked past this shave ice snow cone truck. And we were walking past, and I saw Hebrew writing, so I stopped. And I read there, and it said, Amisa Chai. And I was like, hold on. This is a Jewish truck. And then I walked around and saw there was an Israeli flag on the dashboard. And I thought, these people are being so brave by doing this. And so I stopped. And there was an older gentleman. He had long gray hair and a ponytail. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he just pointed at my arm. Sorry. And he started to cry because to see support from somebody was such a rarity for him. And I didn't know this man. And I just stuck my hands into the window and held his hand. I said, are you okay? And he went, no. I said, okay, I'm sorry. And then he told me he's from Jerusalem, born and raised. And one of his best friend's daughters is in Gaza right now. She was kidnapped from the festival. And everywhere I go, there's people that have been impacted by this. I do not have a single Jewish friend that hasn't been impacted. Everybody has got somebody. And I wished I could have helped him instead of just buying something from his truck. I didn't want to get something that early in the morning, but I was like, it's Jewish owned. I'm going to support it. And that's something I'm encouraging everybody to do. Dubi's got a great website if you're looking for gifts. It's blesszion.org, right, Dubs? That's what it is.
.com.
blesszion.com. And those are gifts if you're looking for things for Christmas, whatever, as gifts for people. It's a way to support Jewish-owned businesses, things coming out of Israel. I'm looking at products that I know are Jewish-made, but it just that old man broke my heart because he's here in LA doing his best. He said his friends and family, everybody, he said he's lost friends, you know, his friends and family have lost people. And I thought about what's going on and it just completely shattered me. And I know I'm here, it's a couple of weeks later, but it still really cuts deep into my soul, knowing that this is what's going on, which is why I'm determined for us to keep standing, keep supporting, keep sewing. And every week I try very hard not to cry and just to get on with it and tell you these stories. But that man just broke my heart, man, just seeing him. And when he just pointed at my tattoo and did this and started to cry, you've got to know what it's doing for a man who's seasoned like that, who no doubt served in the military. And he said to me, I didn't think this would happen again. And I said, I know, me too. And that's just one instance, but there are millions of instances like that. And every time we see somebody and can show kindness and support, it's going to make a difference. And so again, blesszion.com is the website if you want to go buy gifts and things. I'm really encouraging you to do that. Things that you're looking for Christmas, for birthdays, whatever. It's a way for us to show support to the Jewish people. But now that I've cried and told another story, Dubs, the UN, what are your thoughts on that? Why don't you tell people what has actually happened and what you think about that?
You know, people know better than anything. They know about UN, stands for United Nothing. This organization is I think, in a way, just formed to try and show the world to be a better place after the Nazis and what happened in Europe. But little by little, it's all politics. There's a president who wants to be reelected, so he trusts those non-conformist nations, and everybody there is against Israel. All the resolutions. I mean, there's a committee that that is dealing with the issues of the Middle East, but they don't have an Israeli member on it. So as if we're not part of the Middle East. And just yesterday, we're recording on a Tuesday. Just yesterday, our ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, put a yellow badge saying never again. And the whole UN, including Erdogan, this murderer from Istanbul, is getting down on this guy and belittling him and saying bad things about our people. They don't understand that this organization that's supposed to be helping and supporting their centers in Gaza, they are the real affiliates, the real proxies of Hamas. All the goods and all the supplies and all the shelters and support of Hamas is being taken from there. Hamas so-called stole gasoline from there, stole. There were no guards. They sent people to steal supplies from them. Underneath the United Nations centers, there are tunnels where they wage war against Israel. We have seen in the last two operations that there were kind enough international media channels that were testifying and witnessing that from the courtyard of UNRWA, they were launching rockets at Israel. And so this is the United Nations. You have to really pay no attention to this organization that is so biased and hateful towards Israel and the Jews.
You're correct. And that's actually such a great summation of what's going on. You know, everybody says, oh, the United Nations said something. United nothing. They're doing nothing. They're, I believe, an organization that's been put there with the facade of a desire for peace, but they're actually just a front for the same anti-Semitic spirit. That's what I believe.
They called a new meeting of the Security Council of the United Nations to deal with what's happening between Israel and Gaza and Lebanon and all these stories. And Israel said, how can you sit down and talk about any other resolutions when the resolution that was already 1701, already given in 2006 after the Second Lebanon War, that there'll be no Hezbollah near the borders of Israel as a distance of 20 miles, and they're there. So what kind of other resolutions you're going to pass while the only ones that you expect to fulfill them is Israel, and the enemies are doing whatever they want. But, you know, I want to speak about something real quick now because we're filming on a Tuesday, and I just want to give an update that Israel already been on the ground operation already the third day inside Gaza, trying to push away the terrorists. And there are some severe fightings over there. It's really tough. Just minutes ago, we were notified that another 2 Israeli soldiers were killed in Gaza by an anti-tank missile, and 2 others are badly injured. It's going to take a long time for Israel and the world, the community that cares so much for the people of Gaza. They should put pressure on these people to evacuate. The Hamas is hiding amongst these people that could evacuate in areas that's supposed to be empty. And we know that the people moved away. So Israel is trying to open the route for our soldiers to go and look for those terrorists inside the tunnels and everything. They shoot in a building, and all of a sudden, this building has civilians inside that probably were held hostage by the Hamas themselves, didn't let the civilians go because they want to see them die.
Yes.
They want to see them die. That's the whole thing. And you know something that I want to tell everybody to understand what's the story here. Ever since 2005, when Israel left the Gaza Strip, and we gave them the opportunity to form a state and to show us that they're seeking peace, we were launched at rockets after rockets after rockets. And all that Israel were doing is using every penny we have, including the donations of the King Clement Center and the House of Destiny, to build bomb shelters so we can secure civilians.
Yes.
Throughout all these years, until today, with all the money that the international community gave and donated to the Hamas in Gaza, they never even built one bomb shelter for their own people.
No.
One bomb shelter, because they know the Jewish people and Israelis are not targeting civilians.
No.
They didn't even, if Israel was the aggressor, if Israel was an apartheid state, if Israel was the predator, they should have put their money into bomb shelters and safety and security to their own people. But no, they steal the money, they steal the food, they build tunnels to wage war against us. That's where all the money goes. Not even one bomb shelter in the entire Gaza Strip to tell you what these animals are.
What Dubi just said is so true and so perfect. And Dubs, what an incredible insight. And it seems so obvious once you say it, but you say it so beautifully and you say it so well. And for everybody out there, if you watched last week's show, last week, Wednesday, we showed an incredible clip of Dubi going out to the soldiers. And we want to continue to send more support. I want to send a lot of support to Dubi doing what he's doing with the soldiers. And so I'm encouraging you, if you missed that, you'll see some B-roll footage of what he did now, going on to, going out there with these young men getting ready to go into Gaza. When you make your donation, which I'm encouraging you to do, say Israel on it. Click the red link, say Israel, and we are going to go and give more support to these young people. We're going to give support to their families. They need things like food. They need combat boots. They need ceramic bulletproof vests. They need holsters. They need so many different things. And everybody keeps saying, why isn't the government doing it? The government is strained. There's been hundreds of thousands of reservists called up. And so much of what's going on in Israel now is relying on good-hearted citizens like Dubi going out there and showing support. So I'm encouraging you. Now is the time for us to bless Israel. Now is the time. We want to be able to show you more videos like what we showed Dubi, with Dubi, being there. And we have more plans to do more things to be able to give them more support. And so please partner with us. doing that. Join with us, whatever you're able to give. Market for Israel. And we're going to send Dubi out with more of this to be able to go and capture more footage for you to be able to see that we're on the front lines there through him, making a difference. And so the red link that's below your screen and below your player, I'm encouraging you to click on that and give and just make it out for Israel. We want to be able to show support even when everybody else fades away in this difficult time. And this is something God is watching. And I know that it's an important part of his heart. And so it's important to us. But Dubs, thank you so much for being with me. You're amazing. We're praying for you, trusting God with your family, for your nephew, for everybody else who's out there, all the soldiers that I know you carry so close to your heart. We're not going to stop standing and praying. That's what we are doing here. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, the House of Destiny and Israel Partners. And by the way, if any of you are not yet Israel Partners and you're just watching it with your friends, or you're just part of the House of Destiny, please join us. Please become a sustainable member and participant in what we're doing here, because your money goes straight to where the rubber meets the road and helps the people. We're working on now on building a whole program now to support the families of the fallen soldiers that lost everything in their lives. And we want to support them. We want to keep supporting them. We want to help them go through these difficult times. And they need a lot. Nobody's working now from these families. Everybody's grieving and mourning. The world was shattered. And we want to help them pick up the pieces and start building up themselves, help them get some psychological help, some support, even some goods and food and things, so they don't have to be worried and bothered about going back to work real quick and doing all these kind of things. We want to give them the time and provide them so they can literally really say goodbye to their loved ones in an appropriate way and no pressure, and build them for the rebuilding of the state of Israel.
Now is our chance to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and we don't want to miss out on that opportunity, because history will remember what we did in this time. So thank you everybody for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
Partnerships are vital to our global outreach, enabling us to take the love and hope of Jesus Christ to those who need it most. Our Boots on the Ground Partnership Program physically ministers to those in desperate situations all over the world. The Israel Partnership furthers Kim's legacy of outreach to Israel and Jewish people worldwide. We invite you to become a partner today. Join us today and be part of a community that inspires hope, brings restoration to life, and often healing from the past. Together, we can make a difference, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Whenever we don't allow God to take what it is that He has sent us here to do, our giftings, the things that He gifted us to do, we will fall into the clutches of Satan. And our giftings, our natural giftings, Satan will take it, he will distort it, okay? He will twist it up, and he will use it for the sake of the kingdom of darkness. God says, no, I did not send you here with the gifts that I sent with you to be used by Satan. That's why it's so important that we have to seek God. We have to know exactly what it is that God wants. We have to trust God. We have to know that God is going to do all and exceedingly, abundantly above all than we can imagine or think. We have to know this.
This week on Real Life, Real Faith, if you missed it, Pastor Fabry and myself discussed the topic of having faith in the dark. And I know that when you watch it, your heart is going to be encouraged, especially for anybody who's been feeling like they're in a season of darkness, not really knowing where to go or what to do. So make sure you tune into real-faith.tv and that your heart be encouraged and your faith be stirred up with us.
My Towels solved a problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
MyPillow.com.
We here at the House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.